with him. But if it disagrees with what you're trying to do in the future with your family, that means it's a red flag, and you shouldn't try to pursue her.
Yeah.
Like I say, whenever you're examining that diamond, you can't take the clouds out of the diamond. If it don't have the clarity, it doesn't. So keep vetting and keep looking. And that's not found in her beauty. It's found in how she responds to it. So women don't really understand that. They think they can put a whole bunch of makeup on and be marriage material. It don't work like that.
You alright?
Feeling better, yeah.
I feel like your bounce back gonna be straight, especially dealing with this guy right here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So we about to just take him on a trip. We're gonna talk with him, go over that scene, just talk to him about the flaws he might have shown and kind of why he ended up in that situation. You know what I mean? So yeah, I want you to ride with us, of course.
All right, for sure, man.
Grab that menu right there for me if you don't mind. Can you put that in the glove box?
So where's your office located?
You in the office, King. Let's roll. All right, Jay. Today's your training day. Last time you took her out on that Cheesecake Factory thing, man, there was a lot of things that you actually did wrong too. Everybody was on her, but I want to be able to show you some things that you did that led up to that. I know you love your mama and daddy, right? But you're gonna have to get rid of what they taught you. Now, when you saw that woman, I'm sure you saw an innocent woman because you thought she was beautiful, right? You felt like she could do no wrong. You saw sunshine and rainbows, right? Well, you're gonna learn that because they look pretty, because they look cute, does not mean that they're innocent. You always gotta vet, you always gotta measure, right? So don't ever jump ahead and start projecting and start thinking they all of that, because that's gonna make you start leading with gifts because you think she's a treasure already. You gotta do the appraisal first, right? So as a man, you always gotta appraise. All right, so when you're looking for a diamond, you gotta look through the diamond to see the clarity of it. You can't just look at the exterior, man. So that makes sense to you? Now, let me ask you something. You heard her talk to you about hypergamy. You heard her mention that, right?
Yeah.
In the interview.
Yeah.
You ever heard of hypergamy?
Not before the interview.
Okay. All right, so you know now that is when a woman dates a man strictly for his status or his money, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you heard her mention that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you know how when you met her, first thing you did was offer her that dinner. And now you hear that she's hypergamous, right?
Yeah.
That's why I say, man, you gotta learn how these women talk, you gotta learn how women move. It's a lot of information out here online. A lot of men talk about their situations. You ever heard of the manosphere? No? Listen, man, look at it. A lot of men have already putting out, their experiences and talking about what's happening to them. Learn it, man. Listen to them. Learn what they're talking about. It's going to help you a lot out here. If not, they're going to eat you alive. That makes sense to you?
Yeah.
In most cases, man, you got one time and one time only to prove these women who you are. And if you fail that, they already placed you where they was going to place you. And that's whether you're going to be a foodie call, right? You know how girls will put you in their name as food?
I didn't know till now.
Well, when you walked up to her saying, I want to take you to a nice date. I think you're beautiful. I got a great restaurant I want to take you to. Trust me, you're going to love it. Listen, man, you was setting yourself up for a foodie call. It's almost like a woman walking up to a guy telling him all the things she would do to him, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
She knew you was going.
Facts.
Trying to.
Right. They know who to do that to, and they can tell by the way you present yourself. A man and his confidence is everything. The sheer fact that you walked up to her and you led with what you can do for her, that's leading with your wallet, that puts you at a disadvantage. It says you're not confident. It says you don't believe in yourself, because if you did, you would have never mentioned what you were going to do for her. You would have simply just said, I'd like to get to know you more, right? I'd like to keep in touch. When you walk up and it's your first time meeting her and you're already saying, I want to take you somewhere extravagant, you start off on the wrong foot, if that makes sense to you. All right, so you met her at the bar. You walked up to her, you shot your shot, you got her number. Okay, how long did you talk with her before you took her out?
Yeah, so I walked up to her. I said, hi, I'm Jay. I think you're beautiful. And talked a little bit here and there. And then I said, well, I know this nice place that I'd love to take you to sometime. If you give me your number, we can go out maybe next week or something.
Now from right there, I know a place that's really nice. Can you see how you set up an expectation for her? And why when she saw the Cheesecake Factory, she was thinking really nice? This isn't really nice, right? So again, false expectations. You set false expectations when you said I got somewhere really nice to take you to. Okay, so be mysterious. As a man, a lot of times we'll give up our plans because we don't really trust our confidence. We don't think she'll go with us unless we're taking her somewhere she wants to go. If she likes you, she'll go with you anywhere. Always remember that, man. Okay, so you're gonna get turned down. Don't try and avoid that. Just know it's in the numbers. Approach women, say what you got to say to them, and if they're not biting, don't worry about it. But don't try to say things to make it work. You understand?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So again, you talked to her for about a week on the phone. Obviously, you guys just got to know each other a little better, I imagine, right? One of the things I noticed about the film is that y'all almost kind of matched. She had on a green dress and purple lipstick. You had a purple shirt, similar, right? Did you kind of show her what you was wearing? She kind of before the event, because y'all kind of looked like y'all were matching.
That was just coincidence, I think.
Just coincidence. Okay, cool. But I was hoping you didn't say that you showed her your outfit before you left, or let her pick out what you wear.
No.
Because that would have been terrible. Okay.
Yeah, man, this happened to me a couple of times too, man. Like, take a girl out, we got the same colors on and all that, coordinated. So, it happens sometimes.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. It can be ironic, but don't ever do that at first hand, man. Don't let her pick out your clothes. Again, a man has to be mysterious. You understand? A man have to have it together. So if you're not sure of yourself, make sure you work on those things before you start dating, because a woman will notice that, and it'll come off as turnoffs to her. You understand?
Yeah.
And men and women move more alike than we care to admit. You understand? So if a man is with a woman and her value begins to depreciate to him, what he'll do is he'll put her in a different category. So he'll just compartmentalize. He'll start and see her for more fleeting experiences. He ain't looking at her long term anymore because he don't value her the same. So he will start to move about, just trying to get to know her in a more sensual way. And because he's lost the value in it. And women are the same way, right? So she might see you firsthand and project on you that you the man, that you got your stuff together. But women always say, as soon as they start talking, right? And that's when our indeficiencies, our underdevelopment show as men, and they become, they can kind of mold themselves to us. So they lose value in us, and there starts that disrespect, and they start saying, you know what, let me access his wealth before I even access his time, and give him reasons to want to do things for me. And just like dudes will do, okay, she's seeming like she's a little bit loose, a little bit easy. Let me go ahead and try to access her body then without any negotiation of anything real at all. All right, so let's talk about the date, man. Take me back to the scene of the crime. Tell me how it happened. You pull up, you waiting for, start from there. What happened?
So I get to her place and I text her that I'm here. Like 15 minutes passes and she comes out and she says, "Sorry, I'm not ready yet, but if you can just wait a little bit, I'll finish up and we can go." I'm like, okay. I did kind of plan for this ahead of time, so I got there well before the date was supposed to start. The reservation was supposed to start. So I'm chilling for a while in my car, listening to podcasts or whatever, and an hour goes by, and that's when she's finally ready.
When she pulled up and she told you that she was running behind, right? That's when you should have said, you know what? Let's do this again when our schedules align. I understand work. So just reach out to me whenever you're free so we can make this happen again. I already had reservations and we're not going to be able to make those now. So let's just continue this another time, right? If you had done that, that would have showed her that you valued your time and you wanted her to do the same. When you did not do that, you would already let her get away with not calling you at all when she knew that she had to work over. So I want you to...
For me, it's like, I have very limited time anyway. So I figured if we are going out, if it's not today, then it might be weeks.
Right. So you're just thinking about your availability, right?
Yeah.
But regardless, just think about your value, right? She's had you sitting there, and because of your lack of availability, it's more of a disrespect that she would play on your time like that. And I don't mean take it out on her, but just for yourself, remove yourself from that situation, okay? I'm gonna tell you why, all right? Not specifically just because she was late, but if this girl really, really liked you, right? Now, my brother can probably vouch for this, but if a girl really likes you and she finds out she has to work over, you're the first person she's thinking of. And she's gonna text you right then and say, "Hey, I'm sorry, I'm running behind. Can we move some things around? Can we meet at 5 instead of 4, 6 instead of 4? Something." She just kept working and drove all the way to the house, saw you there, and then told you she was running behind. You see what I'm saying? And then on top of that, when she went inside the crib, she was in there for a whole hour. What was you doing outside for an hour while you were waiting for her?
She played on the top, bro.
She did.
She played on the top. She was just trying to see how much she could get out of you out of that. See how much you could go for. You fell for it. You fell for it.
I mean, it didn't feel like that. It felt like she was just maybe disorganized.
That's what it is. That's what I see. It wasn't malicious, but because she was disorganized and she failed to let you know, you should have saw that as she maybe is not that into you, because naturally you would have crossed her mind. If I'm about to take a woman out, man, and I'm excited about seeing her, and I found out I got to work over, I'm calling her and letting her know, right? I don't want to blow it, right? And if she felt that way strongly about you, she would have done the same, right? Now, and this what proves it. She was in the house for an hour, preparing herself, and again, what was you doing out there for an hour?
I was listening to my podcast.
Listening to some podcasts, okay.
Man, she was in the window watching him sit there, bro. She knew what she was doing, bro. I've seen women do this with certain people before, and then it didn't happen with me. I know dudes that, man, she was just playing on his top, bro. She was just trying to see what she could get, see what she could get out of him.
Well, listen, man, you're talking to my brother. He's been out with a lot of different types of women. He's been around his friends and heard it. So a lot of men going to be thinking the worst, and that's why she should have been moving a little bit better around it. I get that you're not thinking that, and it potentially may not be the case, but you still have to value your own time, right?
Yeah.
So just think about this. She walks down, she hops in the car. Well, no, she comes down to the door, and you walk up to the door to grab her arm, and she wouldn't take your arm, even though she's had you waiting for an hour. You understand what I'm saying? So that's a problem. That's another moment that you could have discontinued the date, right? So if you're not ready, let's do this when you're ready, right? I had a great evening planned for you, and I don't want to be, I can't even hold your hand and hold your arm and things like that, and I'm going all out for you. So let's just do this when we both feel comfortable. I thought that this week of conversation and stuff would have, I didn't think you would have even went out with me if you weren't ready for me to at least escort you to your car. You know what I mean? So, and I would have told her the reasons for that. This is not to push up on you, but this is part of chivalry. If I'm going to open your door and things like that, you got to stand next to me, right? If I'm going to protect you, you standing next to me and holding my arm signifies to the people outside of me that you're with me. Man, you walking down the street and there's a bunch of strange guys right here. If she 3 or 4 feet behind you walking, or just outside of you walking, those guys might flirt with her, whistle at her. They're not going to know she with you, especially with you guys. Y'all looked like two opposites. You see what I'm saying? You guys are of 2 different ethnic backgrounds. People might easily look and just think y'all 2 people who happen to be beside each other. But imagine she embraces your arm. When y'all walking by that group of men, what if she just gets a little closer to you? They probably respect her gesture, even if they're not respecting you, and say, let me leave her alone. She really likes him. A woman can do a lot to make sure that a man can protect her, right? Trust me.
Again, bro. She was playing on your top, bro. Think about it. She's live or talking to her girls while she's doing this, while she's doing
Well, we ain't got there yet. We ain't get there yet.
Saying, yo.
We got with that. Now, again, that point I wouldn't disagree with you, bro. She's definitely playing on him when she goes live. But I'm just saying it should have never got that far. You see, so if he'd have noticed these red flags early, it would have never gotten that far. And it's not because she's a bad person, but he would have known at least she wasn't ready to hold his arm. To me, that would have told me she's not that into me, at least not yet, right? I've been there. True story, man. I was walking with a woman. I had taken her out to Ruth's Chris. I probably spent $300 and something bucks on our meal and drinks, right? And we're downtown Savannah. It's cobblestone. She's wobbling. Her heels are digging into the cobblestone. I reached to grab her hand just to help her support herself. And she told me she wasn't ready for that yet. And I had already spent the money for the food and everything. And the first thing I thought in my mind was, so you can have me take you out and spend hundreds of dollars on you for food, but you can't hold my hand? This literally happened to me. So I'm telling you, men out here that's dating, talk to them. They got some stories for you, right? And I had no information that told me that was wrong, but inherently I knew that was wrong. I never took her out again. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I say that to you. She won't take your arm. That tells you something. And then on top of this, she wasn't even dressed. When she got outside and got in the car, she's still putting her makeup on. She was undressed. That's like you getting in the car with your tie undone, your shirt unbuttoned. You know what I'm saying? And you take her out on a date.
So if it took her an hour, that's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
He's sitting in the car for an hour, right? She's looking out the blinds at you, bro. That's all. That's what I'm saying. Like, come on, she had time to make up her face and everything, man. Shouldn't have been nothing out of place.
Right, exactly. If she really liked him, she would have never let him see her face without makeup on it. Trust me. You walk up to some of these women, they'll cover their face. They don't want you to see them. So that tells me she was getting herself ready for where you were taking her to. She wanted to be beautiful and presentable by the time she got there. So that's why I say you can always tell when you're the priority. If she's feeling you, she'll go with you anywhere, and she'll make sure she's presentable by the time she sees you. If she prioritizes that place, then she's gonna say it's gonna be pretty much she's gonna put the priority on where you take her. You see what I'm saying? Because you're not the priority, bro. And so when you realize that, do not give her no experience like that because she's not interested in you. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I say even to women, if you're very interested in a guy and you want to move forward with him, if you can tell he's not into you, don't keep moving forward. That's her simping.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So you're doing all of this because you're masculine. You like a girl. You're supposed to move with effort. That's what you're supposed to do. But a lot of these broken women out here, they will eat you alive while you're doing that because they see it as you begging for attention, you trying to buy them. And it's really just a masculine move. You like a woman, you're going to lead by putting in effort to show her you like her. They see that as you're trying to leverage your income. He's showing off, he's trying to buy me, he's trying to show me he's successful. And that's literally how they take it. It's a green flag, but they see it as a red one. Did that make sense?
I've seen it happen too, man. I believe, like when he said that she was doing that, getting dolled up for somebody else. I did that before. Went to a restaurant and a girl came in with another dude. And as soon as I went to the bathroom, she figured out a way to get through there, and then she gave me a number. So she probably was just trying to get cute for a dude in that fancy restaurant.
Right. She goes to that fancy restaurant with you. Other men in there that's potential suitors could see her in that restaurant. She'll obviously not treat you like she's that into you, and men notice that as well. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why it should have been like that week that you spent talking to her, find out what types of foods that she likes, talk to her about the things that you like. And the main thing is that you want this woman to be interested in you. So you want to kind of be her portal to experiences she never had. Right? So take her to the food you like to eat. Right? Tell her I'm gonna take you to a restaurant I really love. It's got some soul food of our choice, customary food, and I want you to try it, see how you like it. It could have been a hole in the wall. She would have been perfectly fine eating there because she's going there to experience the food, not the ambiance.
Ask her her favorite food. That's what I would do every time. Ask her what her favorite food is, and then take her wherever they got her favorite food at.
Yeah.
Yeah, that way you know if she's allergic to anything or stuff like that too, right? So if she just said I don't like pasta and things of that nature, that probably would have ruled out Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
But that wasn't her complaint though. She just thought that she deserved a more expensive place. So in that instant, you would have found those things out when you first started talking to her, right? She would have told you that over the phone, and you would have knew, oh, okay, she's just seeking an experience, right? Which is understandable. Nobody's wrong for how they're dating, but if that's not what you're looking for, then absolutely. So just keep in mind, man, if you're taking her to a very expensive place, you could create a financial disparity within her. If she doesn't make that type of money, never experienced anything like that, you may just lock her into you now because now she thinks she can't access that stuff without you, and you become the means to an end. You see what I'm saying? So just be smart when you're moving like that. Make sure she's into you. Make sure you into her, and that'll lead you to a more healthy outcome. I suggest a walk through the park. Believe it or not, maybe some champagne or wine while you walk through the park. A picnic, a hookah lounge. Y'all can sit next to hear each other speak. Even if you don't like hookah or whatever, you got some food, drinks there. Cheaper drinks you can sit and build. The goal is that she gets to know you, right? You buying her an expensive meal does not make her get to know you, right? So you want to keep it basic and build up to that. If you can't do it with your wife, your wife could go to a park with you, right? You take her to a picnic and you know she'd love it because she's with you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you got to take a first date somewhere more extravagant than you take your wife, and she don't want to go, that's weird.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? So to me, that's how they should look, man. So what we're going to do is I just want you to, take it slow. Don't lead with your wallet and lead with the man that you are and have that confidence because the right woman is going to be feeling it. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right, bet. Now, I say it was a very masculine move with you taking her home like you did. You even though it made you upset the way she was behaving. I always say to men, a lot of people were in the comments saying they would have, kicked her out the car. And I say, man, you did the right thing by taking her home and maintaining your cool. My brother, he thinks a little bit different. And that's why I wanted to pick him up. What'd you say you would have done in that situation?
So I'd have called an Uber, man. I would have called an Uber for real. Because, or how she was changing up her moods throughout the whole thing, man. I don't know where she was gonna go with that. She filming, people be making up to all type of lies and stuff. So I had these type of situations happen to me before, where a girl get on there and record and stuff and tell lies. So it'd have been Uber. I'd have got an Uber.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't argue with that. I honestly say this right here, man. Take her home. If when men are out here dating, you're gonna get women that say things you don't want to hear. Take her home. You picked her up, but a man must always protect himself. So if she's going live and doing things of that nature to embarrass you, the safest move to make could have possibly been getting her an Uber and just separating yourself from her. You understand what I'm saying? So, but
I don't know if I would to make her get it or anything. If I did, I would pay for it myself.
me too.
You know, but I think at the very least I could do to still be myself,
Mm-hmm.
to respect myself,
Mm-hmm.
and the way I would like to act with
Mm-hmm.
anyone. I got wrong.
Absolutely.
Of course, we know you wouldn't have did it. The world knows you wouldn't have did it. You waited an hour in the car, and then you took her home. Respect. You know, nothing's wrong with it. You did what you had to do.
How far was the drive, if you don't mind me asking?
To her place from my work, it was about 30 minutes.
How far from the Cheesecake Factory back home?
Well, so originally, I picked Aria to be about 15 minutes away from her, right? Easy drive. But the Cheesecake Factory, that was still another 20-25 minutes drive.
Okay.
So you're looking at about 2 hours if you add all those times up.
Well, I'm like you. I would have taken her home because she was being receptive, and she was receptive online. So the world knew what happened between us both. The world heard how how gentle I was being with her, even though she was mistreating me. And she did confirm that she'd be okay with you taking her home. She seemed to be okay with you, turning down the date. So I think you made the right move. I would have taken her home as well. But if she had been belligerent, I would have said, let me get you an Uber. You know what I mean? So absolutely. Yeah. The main thing is, man, it's just trial and error, man. I got a couple dates lined up for you, and I want you to put into practice some of the things that I've been saying to you. But when you're talking to women, you got to listen to them. And when they're talking to you, you got to look down the road and see if those type of behaviors or her ideals will collide with what you're doing in the future. And that's how you know it's a red flag. It's not about just finding, but if it disagrees with what you're trying to do in the future with your family, that means it's a red flag, and you shouldn't try to pursue her. Like I say, whenever you examining that diamond, you can't take the clouds out of the diamond. If it don't have the clarity, it doesn't. So keep vetting and keep looking. And that's not found in her beauty. It's found in how she responds to you. So women don't really understand that. They think they can put a whole bunch of makeup on and be marriage material. It don't work like that. Okay, being feminine, being soft, being sweet, being pleasant. These are things that make her look like a diamond to us. That's what makes us say, oh, she the real deal. You understand what I'm saying? And that's easier said than done. Because a lot of them, they lash out and just, they expose themselves too early. So look for those type of signs, and you'll find you a good woman, trust me.
Definitely being worked with the woman, you know what I'm saying? As
Right.
you can see, she didn't even want to go in Cheesecake Factory. So if it ain't comfortable what she's trying to get you to do, if it ain't something that you really want to do, don't put yourself in that position of doing something that's uncomfortable for you, because you're going to be uncomfortable the whole relationship.
It's a fact. It's a fact. And I'll end it with this right here. Her locking your car door is your personal property, right?
Yeah.
You said to her, I'm going to get out and open your door for you. She said, okay, knowing you were at the Cheesecake Factory. And when you got out, she began to talk junk about you to her crowd. That means that she'll talk about you behind your back. So you're going to take her out and you're going to do your best to put your best foot forward. She's going to be a professional fault finder, find all the things wrong with you, and then she's going to go ruin your reputation to all her female friends. And that's childish, right? That's not what adults do. She don't like to date. Don't date you anymore. Why she telling the world, right? You ever see a woman in a relationship with a guy, and when it ends, now she want to talk about him? That's a sign of immaturity, right? When you're mature, we know relationships end. Keep it between you and your partner. It's not a big deal. That should tell you she's scary. That means that even if things seem to go right, if you make it work with her, the moment it doesn't, the world will know about it, right? So that was your personal property. She left you outside your car. I can imagine that's embarrassing. You trying to get in the car, trying to let her out. Like that right there would have told me But look at how you handle it. I'll get in the car with you. I'll have a conversation with you right now. That shows you do have confidence, but your confidence is in your intellect, right? You knew that you could overcome all her objectives. You didn't have a problem with that. But getting her to like you, you didn't just leave with, "Hey, my name is Jay and you are. I'd like to be able to get more familiar with you. Let me have your number." Instead, you said, "Hey, I'd like to take you somewhere." You see what I'm saying? So you offered with, finances, and so that's what I want to work with you on. I don't think that you necessarily do lack confidence. I think you're just probably saying what you've been told to say to women. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm sure you've found a consistency in that, and women letting you take them out and it not ending up being a relationship, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly why, King. That's exactly why. But again, today's your training day. You ain't gonna be no foodie call much longer.